Hey Chaotic Crew, Brian here with another deck tech, and with the new Marvel Commanders spoiled from the Secret Lair, I thought I'd get my hands dirty and make a deck for it. This time we're going over Captain America, First Avenger. This is all about equipment and getting equipment on Captain America. He is red, white, and blue, America for sure, for a 4/4 human soldier hero. His first ability is Throw. It's 3 mana and unattach an equipment from Captain America as the cost. He deals damage equal to that equipment's mana value divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. So very solid there. And then has Catch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. So first thing here is I want to take a look at that second ability. You're getting 1 free equip a turn with your commander, or per combat, right? So extra combat means extra equips. That could be incredibly good here with the right package. Just great value there. And then the first ability is interesting build around too. You can go Infect Captain America, which is kind of interesting there too, or some other fun little shenanigans you can do there. But I think mainly the strongest part of Captain America is going to be doing that for second ability, excuse me. So let's dig into the deck. It's I'd say equipment in Jeskai isn't too common. We do run a few creatures, 15 to be exact. Akiri is some card draw and a little bit of protection. Aki Battle Squad is a way to get us some extra combats. Arden is a way to put all of our equipment onto Cap at once. Armored Skyhunter fishes for more equipment from the deck. It's sort of semi-card draw. Brass Squire attaches an equipment for free, so you can attach with Cap's ability and then reattach before the ability resolves. So like if you have an equipment that's giving a death touch or something and you attach it to you want to deal death touch damage to creatures, then you can do that as well. Bureau Headmaster is really good for equipment decks, making equipment spells and equip abilities 1 less. Codsworth is very solid. You can get 2 mana for equipment or aura spells, or you could, get a free attach like Brass Squire, and it also gives our commander Ward 2, which is always great to have. SRAM is card draw, so is Pure Steel Paladin, and also Pure Steel gives us those free equips too, so very strong there. Lion Sash is a great graveyard hate. Kellen is pretty awesome because the adventure side is a search, like a tutor for some of this equipment, and the other side is a double striker with other creatures getting +1/+1 or +1/+0 for each equipment attached to Kellen. So pretty solid as another target for our equipment. Ethereum Sculptor and Enthusiastic Mechanaut are there to help our artifacts cost less as well, since we're running a lot of equipment. And then Dalekos, pretty solid to give our equipped creatures flying and haste. So we don't have a ton of haste givers in this deck, but Dalekos is pretty nice because he can give our commander evasion and haste. And then can also tap to add 2 mana to cast artifacts or activate abilities of artifacts. And then last creature, Zerda, really just going to be making sure that our commander's ability is going to be costing a lot less for that first ability, which is kind of niche there. Sorceries, we don't have a ton. We have Austere Command, sort of to get rid of enchantments and other creatures and whatnot. We don't have a ton of high costing creatures. Probably the only one we have is Aki Battle Squad and also Armored Skyhunter. So most of our strong creatures that we want aren't going to die to Austere Commands. That's pretty solid there. We also have Promise of Loyalty, sort of a one-sided board wipe to deal with our opponent's boards, but they get to keep a creature, but it can't attack us the rest of the game, which is pretty awesome there. We do run Open the Armory, Steel Shaper's Gift to tutor up equipment. Of course, One Last Job is pretty neat. You can pay 3 mana and then either +2, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, +1 to return a mount or vehicle. We won't be using that one as much. But then the last one, +1 to return an equipment from our graveyard to the battlefield attached to a creature we control. So we can pay 6 mana to bring a creature back and an equipment, which is pretty neat there. And then Top for the Rampart is a great way to get damage into end games pretty quickly. Thoughtcast just gives us some card draw. Unfinished Business is a way to bring a creature out from the graveyard as well and attach up to 2 art and equipment from our graveyard to the battlefield as well. So pretty solid there in case people remove our equipment. We are running some decent removal control package, we have a few counters: Arcane Denial, Negate, Render Silent. Most blue decks that are aggressive, I tend not to run too many counters, so this is a decent amount. You might want to add one or two more to ensure that you're, most of the time we'll have one in hand, but this way, you can still do the aggressive strategy while also having some control up. We also have Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshare, Stroke of Midnight, Generous Gift, as, removal pieces. Boros Charm is a good protection, as well as Flawless Maneuver from the Secret Lair as well. I tried to include all of the Secret Lair cards except for the In the Trenches one. That one was just not amazing, but if you wanted to add it in, you could too. Added this MDFC Legion Leadership, which is solid. Battlefield Improvisation and Inventory Management are ways to also, free equip our commander, which is pretty neat too. Then going to the artifact package we do have a lot of artifacts. We have, Arcane Signet, the Azorius, Boros Izzet for our Color Identity, and Felwar Stone. You could probably also get away with running the Talismans too if you're really mana intensive. I think we have a lot of ways to cheat, the equipment onto our commander. We're not running a ton of mana investment here, so it's not too much of a big deal. Maybe we will have to equip things here and there, but we don't need too much ramp. We have Argentum Armor, which gets rid of any, non-land permanent, or no, any permanent at all, which is great. Basilisk Collar, fantastic way to give our commander lifelink and death touch, so his first ability can get rid of 3 different targets, which is nice. Battle Mage's Bracers is pretty sweet because you can do it 2 different times. You don't have to attach to equipment because attaching the equipment is the cost. You just pay 1 extra mana and you get to deal 3, the same damage to the 3 more targets. So pretty great. Bladehold War Whip gives him double strike and makes our equip abilities 1 less to equip, which is pretty sweet. Hexblade Wallbreaker gives us another combat. Hammer Nazan gives free equips. Excalibur, really solid card, giving our commander a ton, and probably the best one to unequip, right, from our commander, which is pretty sweet there. Colossus Hammer, because we're getting this free equip, just putting Colossus Hammer on Cap is pretty solid there, making him a 14/14 at base, and even if we do have Dalkos, he'll lose the flying, but who cares, because we're just swinging him around. And then Caduceus, I think I'm pronouncing that right, gives him lifelink and indestructible and +5/+5 with 30 more life. Because Cap can deal damage, we got a couple things that can give him lifelink here. Death Touch is really solid. I think our only Death Touch equipment is Basilisk Collar, so we'll potentially add another one there. Mjolnir is really flavorful, right, with the Avengers movie. Pretty solid. Pip-Boy 3000 makes it so when our commander attacks, we'll draw a card, then discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on it, or untap up to 2 lands. So just good value there. Resurrection Orb also gives our commander lifelink, and when it dies, you return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it's a bit of protection as well as giving him lifelink. I think that's really important to have in the equipment deck, so really solid here. And then you have to add the Shield of War and Peace from the Secret Lair. Gives it +2/+2, pro red and pro white. You gotta watch out though, because that means it'll give it protection from the other red and white equipment we have. So just to keep an eye out for that. But you can obviously unattach this from Cap. Then, you don't have to reattach it yet. It's not amazing. Honestly, I think it's a big flavor fail that it gives him pro red and white. But, it's from the Secret Lair. It looks super cool, so we should keep it in. Swiftfoot Boots, give it haste and hexproof. Sort of Feast and Famine, very strong card. It lets you untap your lands and, makes players discard cards. Sword of the Animus for some ramp too. And then Key to the Vault just gets us free cards. Pretty solid there. And Thran Power Suit, a way to buff our commander a lot and give it Ward 2 as well, which is pretty helpful as well. We run a few enchantments. Training Grounds is really important here. We want our commander's ability to cost less, so this is super helpful, making it cost only 1 mana, which is great. Blacksmith Talent makes an equipment, and then you can also auto-equip, and then level 3 will give equipped creatures double strike, which is sweet. Sigarda's Aid, or Captain America's Aid from the Secret Lair, is really nice. You can cast Aura and Equipment as though they had flash, and whenever it enters, you may attach, or whenever an equipment enters, you may attach it to target creature you control. Keep in mind though, this is white and it does target, so if you have a shield of War and Peace on our commander, you actually cannot auto-equip with Captain America's aid. Not the biggest deal. You could obviously equip it to a different creature or go from there, but that's just something to keep in mind. Fighter class is a tutor for an equipment, and then you can also pay 3 to make equip abilities, 2 less to activate, which is pretty nice. And then whenever a creature you control attacks at level 3, up to 1 target creature blocks it. This combat of Fable, not the most useful there, but level 1 and level 2 are pretty great. And then Forge Anew gets an equipment from our Giver to the battlefield, and then we can pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost for the first equip ability we activate during each of our turns. So pretty neat there. And then we just run 35 lands, 36 with the MDFC. But let's go dive into a play test here. Right off the bat, we have a decent hand. We do have started with Training Grounds and Blacksmith's Talent, so we do have some stuff to go off of here. Right, we're not going to be doing the first ability of Captain America super often. It's mostly going to be the second one. So let's dive in. We'll draw for turn. We get the planes. I think we go for the... it doesn't really matter. We'll play the spectator seating. And then we'll go to our next turn. We'll get Generous Gift, which is nice. We'll go ahead and play the Mountain, so we can play Sulphur Springs next turn. And we get the Felwar Stone for 2 mana. And then if our opponent has blue, we can go ahead and Training Grounds as well, which is pretty nice. If it's not, and they only have red, we can Blacksmith's Talent. And in fact, I may just want to Blacksmith's Talent so that we can get the auto-equip from our commander next turn. So that might be the play instead. Blacksmith Talent, let's see what token. And then we go to our next turn, play the Sulphur Falls. We can cast our commander and then auto-equip it with the sword to make it a 5/5, which is not bad at all. We don't have a ton of stuff going on here. Don't really have any of our card draw engines or, you know, getting too much value. If we get a really solid equipment, that could be really good too. We'll go ahead and draw. We'll get the Path of Ancestry. We'll play that. Now, the thing to keep in mind with the Blacksmith's Talent sword is that detaching it from Captain, because Captain cares about mana value, it's not going to do any damage. So it's just strictly there as an equipment to help buff him up. But we can go ahead and do... We can play Training Grounds, right? And then hold some mana up for the Generous Gift. I think that's a really solid option. We can, of course, swing in with our commander. That's pretty nice there. And then, you know, next turn we can go ahead and... Let's see, we have 2 artifacts. So Thoughtcast will cost 3 mana. That's not ideal, but we kind of need some card draw. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, some more removal, which is not bad, but not amazing. I'm going to go ahead and tap 2 here for the Bureau Headmaster to scry us 1. And actually, I think we keep the Promise of Loyalty on top just because at this point in the game, our opponents probably are getting a bit of a stacked board. It's a bit of a slower game. We have the Flawless Maneuver, right? And we have some removal spells to deal with our opponents, right? If they're trying to deal with our stuff. Drawing the board wipe is pretty helpful there. And pretty much making it so our opponents are going to have a hard time attacking us. But yeah, this is a bit of a slower hand. Let's see, you know, since... That's part of the beauty of deck building is we play test it to make sure that it runs how we want it to run. In this case, we'd want more card draw, right? So cards that can draw us more cards or get us more advantage is helpful there. Ooh, we have 2 lands here. Not ideal. I don't hate it. If we can draw a 3rd land, we're pretty good. But I'm going to say we restart. We don't do that. 1 land. Nope. Not that one. And this one we'll keep, and we'll put the Forge Anew at the bottom. And that might be a card to take out, right? But it's really good if our opponents have a lot of artifact removal. So that's something to think about. So turn 1, we draw another land. I say we play that first. It comes in tapped. Turn 2, we get a Signet as well. So we don't have a 1-drop, so we'll go ahead and play the Signet this turn. And then turn 3, we'll play the Inventor's Fair, which is solid. And then we can tap 2 for Arcane Signet. We have 3 mana for our... We can play Lion Sash and then Thoughtcast. oh no, Thoughtcaster still costs 2. Let's play Lion Sash, right, with these two. And then Arcane Signet can exile a card from a graveyard, right? Which is pretty nice. And then next turn we can get Cap in. So next turn we'll play a Mountain. We'll tap 1, 2, 3 for the Cap. We also did gain a life from Inventor's Fair. And we could go ahead and equip Cap with Lion Sash. It's pretty sweet. And then we could play Battle Mage's Bracers. We could play... That's about it. We could also detach to deal 2 damage to something if we need to. So we can just hold this open. We also have a white mana to exile another thing to buff Cap even more. And we will just do that. Next turn, we have Zirda, which is kind of neat too. We also have Aki Battle Squad, which is giving us some additional combats. So that can be neat. I think we're getting to a point, right, where this is actually really solid. Zirda is going to make it so that, you know, equip is 1 less to equip, and Battle Mage's Bracers can start dealing lots of damage. I say we probably, let's just tap 1, 2, 3 for this. Then Thoughtcast will cost 1, draw 2 cards. Okay, we get a removal spell and a Hammer and Razan. So yeah, we're in a good spot for the late game here. We're going to slowly be whittling our opponents with our commander, right? And as, you know, we have the white mana, we can either use it for path or make our commander bigger. If our commander does die, right, we still have the Lion Sash on the field and we can always cast it. Hammer and Razan's a great draw. It's going to make our commander indestructible, and we're going to start doing lots of damage with it. So pretty decent there. I want to try another game. Okay, I like this hand. We do have an equipment. Forge Anew is not amazing. Again, might end up taking that out because these early hands are not what you really want to see that in, especially because our commander can kind of already free equip to himself. But Ardenne's nice too if we can get some more equipment in here. But let's go ahead and draw for turn. Okay, another card that's good to have later in the game. I say we play the Island, we pass. Turn 2. Mjolnir's pretty solid. We'll play the Darker Wastes, and we'll go ahead and pay 1 life for Lion Sash. Next turn, Resurrection Orb's also solid. I say we go ahead and cast our commander, right? And then we equip it with Lion Sash for free. We get a land, which is nice on turn 4. And then we can go ahead and play Mjolnir, which is great, right? And then free equip. We could have also played the Resurrection Orb for some more protection on our commander, right? To make sure that if someone does decide they want to remove it, it's not, you know, it's not a big deal. So yeah, but we'll play Mjolnir for the flavor. We'll swing in, and we'll tap, you know, a creature, put a stun counter, and then deal damage to each opponent equal to the number of tapped creature that opponent controls. So that's pretty fun there. And then, yeah, we do get the Pure Steel Paladin, so we actually are going to get some card draw here. Pay 1 life. Bam. And then we play the Resurrection Orb. Draw a card. Now we have 3, so we can just free equip whenever we want now, which is nice. But also our commander is going to give us a free equip too. But having Pure Steel Paladin give you the free equip, or having another card give it, is really nice, because then you could do the, you know, unattached equipment from Captain America whenever you want, right? And then it doesn't have to be before the main phase or before the combat phase to get that free equip. You can just do it afterwards as well if you need to. So that's pretty neat there. This pretty much is the deck, right? We're just beefing up Captain America, swinging in. You can definitely add some more equipment here. I think if you wanted to upgrade this, I'd add some more card draw and some ways to just make it more consistent where you can get lots of, you know, equipment out. We do have a decent chunk, but it doesn't hurt to have more there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the deck. This is a super fun commander. The whole, you know, Secret Lair super drop is very neat. So I'm looking forward to building some of these decks down the road. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you've had and what you take out, and looking forward to the next one. But take care, and y'all have a good week. Bye.